Okay, let us begin. If anybody has a question from the previous class, I'll answer that.
No, sir.
Okay. So let me ask you, if I ask you to add numbers 1 to 100, how would you do that? Sridhar, based on the concepts that we discussed in the previous class, how would we add the numbers 1 to 100? One plus two plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 rent x. Is that correct?
Yes.
That means I got tired after 5.
Yes, sir.
So obviously this is not a very, this is correct technically, but it's not a very good solution. Okay, so we have to come up with some kind of mechanism with which to do something repetitively. Okay, so let us look at something called as iteration. Okay, so we'll talk about iteration. So what is iteration? Iteration is repeating something. Okay, repeating a set of instructions. Okay, so the first method means first construct from Python that we'll be using is the while function. Okay, it's not necessarily a function, maybe it's a function, I don't know whether we call it as a function or a statement. Maybe it's a statement, I don't know. Anyway, let me show you an example. It's a statement, yeah, so while statement. Okay, so let us do an example of that. Say sum is equal to 0. Okay, we define a new variable called sum and we assign a value 0 to it. Now what do I want to do? I want to, and I also want to keep record of, first of all I want to find out the sum. Okay, so I define a variable called sum. Now I also want to keep record of whether I am moving ahead in numbers. So what I'll do, I'll in the first iteration, okay, or the first steps of this loop, what am I going to do? I'm going to add 1, okay, to the sum, and then in the next loop I'm going to add 2 to the sum. In the next loop I'm going to add 3 to the sum, and so on and so forth until 100. Okay, so I want to keep record of the fact that I am at a particular stage. Okay, so let us call this as 1. Okay, now I am going to check while. While stands for that it is going to check for whatever I'm writing in this bracket. Okay, so while I is less than or equal to, so this sign stands for less than or equal to 100. Okay, while I is less than or equal to 100, it should do the following. Okay, what should it do? Sridhar, any idea?
Like
in the
like
first
a-
step, in the first step of this iteration, I want to add I to the sum. Okay, what is I? I is 1. What is initial sum? It is 0. What am I doing? I'm adding 1 to my sum. Okay, that is how I'm going to do it. So what should I do? Sum is equal to
sum
plus I.
I.
Okay, and what else should I do here? I should move ahead in I, because there is no other way for I to move ahead. Now I have already summed 1 to my sum. Okay, I have added 1 to my sum. Now I want it in the next step. I want to add what? 2 to my sum. So I want to update the value of I. Okay, so what am I going to do? I'm going to do I is equal to I plus 1. Is that all right?
Yes.
Okay. What should I print?
Sum.
Sum. Is that correct? Is that all right?
Yes.
Now let us say I have a problem where I don't want to go through this whole steps. Okay, so let us say I want to stop somewhere. Okay, let us say I want to find whether what do I want to do? Okay, I want to check the first number that is divisible by 11 and 12. Okay, let us say I want to do that. Okay, so I have a similar loop. Within the first 100 numbers, I want to find whether a number is divisible by both 11 and 12. I want to check only within the first 100 numbers. I don't want to check throughout. Okay, so my goal here is within the first 100 positive integers, I want to find if a number is divisible by 11 or 12. Okay, we'll write a very rudimentary sort of let us start from I is equal to 1. Okay, although it does not make sense to start from I is equal to 1, but let us say I start from I is equal to 1. Okay, now while I is less than or equal to 100, I want to do what?
It's divisible.
If what?
I is
I percent stands for mod 11
11 or
is equal to 0 and I percent 12 is equal to 0.
sir, or आना चाहिए.
Oh, I made a mistake in my description. This should be and. Okay. Yeah, that was a mistake. Okay. So what happens in that case? Then it would be, I mean, I'm trying to make it interesting, although it's not really wrong. Means you could do or, yeah, but it's not really, we know that. We want to find something a little more special than that. Okay. So if this is true, then what should happen? Print I. Okay. I also want to do, before I do that, let me say, or I can do something else. The number divisible by both 11 and 12 is okay. Do I want to do anything with else here? Not really. Anything we can do with else?
So we can just print that number is not divisible.
Yeah, but else, where will we do that? How would we do that? Not here, definitely. Because if it is going to print 100 times. Okay, if we put else, so what Meda is suggesting, if we do that, let us say, if I do this, else print the number is not, there is no number, is no number within 100 which is divisible by both 11 and 12. Do you see the flaw in this or no? Meda?
While का
Hmm?
How it will run 100 times, right? Because
Yeah.
we haven't given end.
Do you see a flaw here? End? Which end? End is not required in this particular language. Okay, it is automatically understood with the indenting. You are talking about END end, no?
Yes, sir.
That is not required here.
Okay, sir.
Okay, it is understood with the indenting. Okay. We have an end in whatever Fortran or MATLAB or whatever you're using, but here we don't require an end. There is one more thing that I have changed here. I have given I plus equal to 1. What does that mean?
I equal
Anybody
to I
know?
plus 1.
Yeah.
It is outside the else. It need to be included in else as well as if
What?
that I plus equal to 1.
if I remove it outside if and else both, then what is going to happen? It is going to run regardless, no?
Yes.
So that is what we want to do now. We want to move ahead in every
Acha.
iteration.
Yes, yes, yes.
So did you see your problem, Medha? Or not yet?
So
This
yes.
is what the output is.
Actually, the assignment you gave, I was having same problem.
What?
So in assignment also, earlier I was having same problem.
So that is what you're making a mistake. No, this is going to be checked every time. Okay, 100 times this is going to be checked. So every time it is, if this is not true, then this is going to be printed 100 times. You don't want to do that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
Sir, here I plus is equal to 1 is same as like I is equal to I plus 1.
yes. So this is another way of writing this. So if we wanted to do I is equal to I minus 1, then we could have done I minus equal to 1. Okay.
Okay.
So now we do not want to do this. So this is clear. We do not want to do this. We want to put it somewhere outside this particular construct of while. Okay, so let us put it here. Okay, but there has to be some check. This we are going to reach this line anyway, even if it were divisible, you will reach this line. You want to verify whether this is true or not. Okay, whether you should print this line or not. How will you verify that? So what is the check that I can apply to not print this line? Means to print or not print this line. So what is going to happen to this particular value? What will be the value of I when it leaves this while loop after it gets completed?
100.
100.
Huh?
100.
Sure. Think about it.
100 plus 101. Right?
So the last time this while loop will get entered, you will enter into those while loop is going to be when I is equal to 100. Is that correct? Okay.
Yes,
It does not check for the condition again. Okay. Once it enters the loop, it runs through the whole loop. The whole loop is from if to I is equal to I plus 1. Okay. So when you enter this particular loop at I is equal to 100, once you exit this loop, what will be the value of I? 101. Okay, then it will go back to the first statement at 101 and it will check whether that is true or not. This is not true now, no longer. So this will not get entered. So once you leave this particular, let me do this, print I. So the value of I when it leaves this particular loop is going to be 101. Now you want to check what? So let me say if I is equal to 101, that means that we have run through the whole loop. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And my last value was what? let me call this as I minus 1% 11 is not equal to 0. How do I do that? Is equal to 0 and I minus 1% 12 is equal to 0. What is for not? Is there any not here? How can I do not? I want to do not of this. How do I do not? Anybody knows? I think it is tilde. I'm not sure. Let us try. No. It's not tilde. I'll explain to you what this means in a moment. Let me see what not is. Not Python. Maybe the keyword is not. Yeah. Not space X. Let me try if that works. What do I want to do? So this is matching this. Okay. Mail. How do I do this? Any idea? I want to take a note of this whole function. How do I do that? Hmm? Sanjeev, any idea?
सर वो exclamation mark
Hmm?
sir try putting exclamation mark
Only
in front
exclamation
of
mark.
this.
Let's look at this. Plus equal to bitwise. Tilde is a bitwise. Or Zor complement.
In net it is showing exclamation mark in front of.
Okay, let us try that. Insert not I. False. Not I is working fine. But how do I add these two together? Okay. bracket is causing the problems. If I get rid of the bracket, space. So what I'm trying to do here is that I'm checking whether I have reached my final step. Final step means I is equal to 101. And I want to ensure that the final step did not have what? My result. Okay. Because I'll reach, and one more thing I want to do here. I want to add something here. I want to say break. What is break going to do? Any idea?
And
So end this while loop immediately. Okay, it will not go back to the check this again. Okay. So what I want to do is that as soon as I find my first number, which is divisible by both 11 and 12, I want to break, get out of the loop. And so let us, instead of doing this, I don't know how to do this, but let us forget about this for now. We'll worry about this later on. Yeah. Why is this not working now? What happened here? Oh, sorry, yaar. I was making such a stupid mistake for so long. We had to put a colon. I was thinking, why is it not working? Okay. Is that all right now? Did
Yes,
everybody understand the logic? Sridhar, did you get the logic?
Can you explain that?
Huh?
Print type from
sir,
print type.
if you will have some else statement, then what?
So let us do this. What else statement?
If we have to loop, here we for else statement we came out of the loop and we implemented that outside the while loop.
I don't understand which point you're talking about. Can you tell me which?
So like if we were earlier, like I was saying that if an else statement, so it was running 100 times because it was inside the while loop.
Okay.
If anytime we have something nested loops, then what?
Then
Then we
what happens in break?
No, yes, sir. That one because after break it will stop.
Yeah, so it breaks out of the lowest loop. Okay, so if you have nested loop, one loop, another loop inside that, so the inside loop gets broken, not the outside loop. Okay, but here, can you understand what is going on over here? So let me, before I go here, let me say R. Let me do 2. Okay, now let's see within the first 200 numbers, is there a number that is divisible by both? Let me remove this print. We don't need this print anymore. So the number which is divisible by both 11 and 12 is what? 132. Okay, and it did not print this number. This. Okay, why did it not print this? Why did it not print this?
Because it is not satisfying.
Yeah, because it is not satisfying this particular condition. This condition is that we are at my last step and I have not found anything which is what? Any number which is divisible by 12. Okay, and that is going to be so now let us try this with 132. Okay, let us say that I want to do this with 132. Okay, so this is going to be what? 133. Okay, and I had not given this whole condition, then what would have happened? if I had not given this part of the condition?
Would print 132 because after the while loop it will
After the while loop, it will, let us say I had not given this. Okay, let us say I did. Okay, if I had something like this, then what would happen?
132 and there is no number.
Arey yaar. So when I give a break, what happens in that case? It
will
never
stop
reaches.
after
It never reaches I plus 1. I is equal to I plus 1 will not happen now. Okay, so this is not going to happen either. But let us say if my equation was something like, kya hua hai? Okay, if I had something like this, okay, let us say I was doing this in the first step. Okay, I was starting from I is equal to 0. Okay, and I was adding 1 to it in my first step itself. Okay, then what would happen in this case? Kya hoga?
so it will
Still, it will not do anything, will it? No.
also because it will never reach 133.
Yeah, it will never reach 133. Okay, in any case, did you get the point? Sridhar, did you get it?
No,
What did
no,
you
sir.
do? Huh?
No, sir.
No, you did not get it.
No. Yes, sir.
You got it or you did not get it?
I didn't get it.
What did you not get? Let us go back to
The order of
huh?
sequence of executing that steps I did get, sir. Like
So let us say I want to add I want to check with that whether within my first 200 numbers, is there a number which is divisible by both 11 and 12? Okay, so what did we do first? So we started with I is equal to 1. Okay, we make a while loop and check for all numbers between 1 and 200. Okay, that is how I do with this. Okay, now I check whether I is divisible by 11. Okay, this is clear.
that is clear.
And I is divisible by 12. If that is true, then it should print that the number divisible by both 11 and 12 is I. Is that okay?
Sir.
Okay. Now, once I find that number, there is no point of checking numbers up to 200. Do you agree with that? Because I want to find the first number which is divisible by both. Is there any point of doing that anymore?
No, sir.
There is no point. So I put a break statement. Okay, what does break statement do? It removes me out of the loop. Okay, so my while loop gets broken immediately. Nothing happens after that. Okay, now what is going to happen in this case? Once I leave this loop, this number will get printed. Okay, whatever number was divisible by 11 and 12 will get printed, and I'll go out of this loop. Now I am checking. So there is a possibility that none of those numbers was divisible by
11 and 12.
huh?
11 and 12.
11 and 12. Okay, so I want to ensure that this does not happen. So I want to print that out. Okay, so I want to check whether I have reached my final step or not. Okay, in this case, my final step is going to be what? 201.
Yeah.
Okay, if I have reached my final step and somehow in my final step, maybe that number was divisible by both 11 and 12. Okay, the final step was only divisible by 11 and 12. Then I want to do what? I want to do what? I want to check whether that final step was not correct. Okay, so I don't want this to happen in both the cases. Okay, so let me, if I remove this break statement, maybe it will become clear. Okay, so if I do 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 3. Now do you see it, Medha? क्या हो रहा है?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So what am I checking? I'm checking whether I've reached my final step. Okay. And somehow in the final step itself, what was happening? That I was finding my solution. So what is happening? It is telling me the solution, and then it is saying that that number is not divisible by 11 and 12. Okay, which is not true. So I have to check for both the things. I have to check whether I've reached my final point, and at the same time, my final solution was not what?
Final solution is true.
The final point was not the final solution, the correct solution. Okay, I have to check for both these things. Okay, so that is the basic concept. So let me erase these and put this back. Okay, now it is not going to happen. Okay. And actually, in this case, we do not even need this. We could possibly get away with this. Okay, because now in this particular case, what is happening? Now let us look at this situation. What is happening in this situation? Now, if even in my final step, if the solution was found, then what is going to happen? I will never reach I is equal to I plus 1. Okay, I will never reach I is equal to I plus 1 means I will never reach 133. Okay, so this condition will not be met. Okay, this condition will only be met in the case when we find no solution at all. Is that all right?
Yes, sir.
Is that,
Yes, sir.
is that okay now? So you tell me. Okay, I'll ask you. So in this particular loop, okay, what is going to happen if my final point was 132? Okay, and I found a solution at 132. Okay, if my solution was found at 132, will I ever reach this point in the 132nd iteration? What is going to happen?
Maybe.
Huh? Tell me what is going to happen. Think about it. What is happening in this particular point? It is checking whether it is divisible by 11 and 12, which it is.
Yes.
Okay, 132 is divisible by both 11 and 12. Then what are we going to do? It is going to this step
Print and then
print,
break.
and it will break immediately.
Yes.
So once it breaks, what happens to this particular step?
It will not execute.
It will not be executed. If it's not executed, then we will never reach 133. Okay, so checking this is not really important anymore. Okay, because we will reach 133 only when what?
That I is equal to I plus 1 will be.
One gets executed. It will get executed if, let me
That is not solved by 11.
let me do something. Let me define a new number. N is equal to 132. Okay, so I don't have to change it again and again. N, and let me call this as N plus 1. Okay, so it checks for whether we reach 132 plus 1 or not. Okay, which we will not reach because it is divisible by this. But what is going to happen in this case if I change this to 1? If I do this, what is going to happen in this case? What is going to happen in this case? It will check for 131. It will check for 131, which will not be, which is not divisible by.
It will come to I is equal to I plus 1.
It will come to I is equal to I plus 1. Okay.
And
so once it reaches I is equal to, so this will become 132. Okay. So what will it print? What will it print? It will print
132.
there is no number within. Let us call this as okay. There is no number within 131, which is divisible by both 11 and 12. Did you understand this print statement now? What is this doing? Everything within quotes is printed as it is. Okay, everything that is within quotes is printed as it is. Now, which is this N is outside the quotes. So what is going to happen once I put N between two commas? So there will be a space between this value, whatever I had written here, and N. Okay, and there will be a space between n and whatever string I have written on this side. Okay, so the strings get printed as they are, and everything outside the strings which is written. So if you look at, so strings are in red font, which automatically happens in Jupyter. Okay, in my case, and this is in black font. So black font in this particular case, which is outside your codes, is going to be printed. The value of that particular variable is going to get printed. So the variable n is defined as 131. So it gets printed within 131. There is nothing that is divisible by both 11 and 12. Is that okay? Now, if I change this to 100 or 111, then what is going to happen? What will be my answer? Can you tell me? What will this print?
There is no number within
No number.
table 1 which is divisible by 11.
Within 111. Okay. So this is going to show this now. Okay. So I don't have to hard code everything. Okay. Is that all right? Did you get it or no?
Yes.
Can you explain like what if we write while like I plus is equal to 1 if just below the while?
If I do this here, yeah, we could do that. But if we wanted to check whether the first it is divisible by the first number is divisible or not, then we'll have to start from 0, no? So I could do this. Okay, so the check is going to happen on what? Where is the check going to happen? Check is going to happen beginning with I is equal to what?
1.
I is equal to 0.
No.
1, 1,
One.
sir. 1.
Yeah, because once we reach here, what is the value of I?
1 on.
1. Okay, so that you have to take care of which particular value of I you want the operation to happen on. Okay, you have to take care of that. That is all. So you could place I is equal to I plus 1 anywhere. Okay, depending, you can choose any location, but you have to make sure that you understand what that means. Okay, but the answer in this case is also going to be exactly the same. Okay, so let us look at whether it checks 132. Okay, is that all right?
Yes, sir.
So I'll give you 5 minutes. Okay, now you have to write a code, all of you. Please find, so the user write a program to ask user to input 5 integers. Okay, and print the largest odd number. Okay, if there is no odd number, if there is no odd number, then print a message. Okay, I'll give you 5 minutes to do this. I'm making a small change, 5 positive integers. Okay. Please do not see my code. Just do it on your own. Are you done? Anybody? Mela, what is the status?
I'm not getting.
Huh?
I'm unable to do.
That is fine, but what did you write till now?
I'm having this giving 5 inputs itself.
So you can look at my code now. You can complete it after the session. So let us look at. So I am defining an n is equal to 5. Okay, I is equal to 1. So n is the number of inputs that I want, and I is my iteration counter. Okay, and I'm defining a new variable called largest. I know that the inputs that I'm going to get are going to be positive integers. Okay, so I'm defining a new variable called largest, which is going to store the largest value which I want. Okay, I want the largest odd number. Okay, so let us see this. So I've started a while loop where I am taking integer. I'm converting the input that I'm taking from a user. Okay, by using this particular. This is the function that we have to use, the input function. Okay, so and we get even if the user enters an integer, it is automatically assumed as a string, so we have to convert this into an integer using the int function. Okay, that is what we do. So this is now x stores the first value that was given by the user. Okay, now we are checking whether the first value is divisible by 2 or not. Okay, if it is not divisible by 2, and okay, if it is not divisible by 2, that means it's an odd number. If it's not divisible by 2, and x is greater than largest. Okay, so largest initially I have defined as 0. Okay, so that is keeping my largest. So this largest, this stores the largest odd number till now. Okay, okay, and 0 is the default value that I'm giving. Obviously that is not an odd number, and that is but that is a default value. Okay, that I'm going to utilize later on. Okay, so let us look at this. So if x is an odd number, if x is not divisible by 2, okay, this means that x mod 2 is not equal to 0. That means what? Either what does that mean?
That is odd number.
That it is an odd number. It will be 1. Okay, because x is an integer. So positive integer. Now, and x is greater than largest. If forget 0 for now. Okay, if assuming that whatever largest value of integer of odd number that you found till now is stored in largest, then checking this is reasonable or not. Can you see this or no? Or well, maybe it will become, yeah, let me do something. Print largest is equal to largest. Okay, I know it will be a little difficult for you guys to get it initially, but let us see what happens. So I'm saying that if so assume that largest contains the previous largest value. Okay, till now whatever largest value I have found. Okay, what is going to happen now if I if x that I found is an odd number and it is greater than largest, then what should I do? What should I do then?
Update the largest.
Update the largest, because now this new x is going to become the largest value, the new largest value, isn't it? Sridhar, do you agree or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm checking whether it's an odd number and it's greater than largest. If both of these are true, then the largest should become equal to x. Okay. And then after getting out of the if loop, I'm going to add 1 to my iteration variable I. Okay. Now, once I'm out of this loop, I've checked all my 5 numbers. I've taken all the 5 numbers and I've checked this thing for all 5 numbers. What should I do? I'm checking whether my largest is equal to 0 or not. Okay, if our largest is not equal to 0, what does that mean? That largest has been updated at least once. Okay,
Yeah.
Largest initially was 0. Now it has been updated at least once. What does that mean?
Is the largest number.
That we have found at least one odd number. Okay, so that might be your, if you have found only one odd number, then that will be your largest odd number. But if largest is equal to 0, means if else corresponds to if largest is equal to 0. If largest is equal to 0, what does that mean?
There is no
There
number.
are no odd numbers.
Odd numbers. Okay. So let us try running this now. So let us start with even numbers only. 4, 6, and 10. What do you expect the answer to be now?
There are no odd numbers.
There are no
Odd numbers entered.
odd numbers entered. Okay. Now if I run this again, let us see. Or let me make a small change. Okay. So if I remove this and I print this, okay, I'm going to print this in every iteration. Arey yaar, galti kar di. I want to print this in every iteration. Okay, I'm going to print the value of largest at every iteration. So that will make it a little clear. Okay, so let us start. So if I enter, let us say an even number 2. Okay, if I enter an even number 2, what is going to happen?
Print. There is no odd number entered.
नहीं अभी कैसे अभी तो 5 entries का इंतजार करेगा ना वो. You have to enter 5 times. So if let us say I enter 2, then what is the value of largest? 0. Why is it going to be 0? Because we never enter this condition. We never enter this condition. Why don't we enter this condition? Because this is not true. Okay, x mod 2 is 0. It's not 0. Okay, it is 0. So that is why we'll never enter this loop. So largest will never not get updated. What was the initial value of largest?
0.
0. Okay, so it does not get updated. Now what happens next? It is I is going to get updated to whatever to value 2. Okay, now let us say I enter 9. What do you expect the value of largest to be now?
9.
It should be 9. Okay, what happens in this case? When I enter 9, it checks for this condition. This condition is that x is not divisible by 2. That is true. And x is greater than largest. What was the previous value of largest?
0.
0.
0. So is 9 greater than largest?
Yes.
Yes. So largest will become 9. Okay, and then again this loops. This becomes an I becomes the next value, which is 3. Now, if I enter, let us say 3, what do you expect largest to be now?
9.
Either
9 only, sir.
huh? 9. Why? Because
So second condition.
this
not
is true. This is true, but this is not true. X is not greater than largest. Okay, so if I enter 3, then my largest still stays at 9. Okay, now if I enter, let us say 10, what do you expect largest to be now?
9.
9 only.
9. What about if I enter 15? What will the value of largest?
15.
15.
15. Okay. Is that all right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir?
Yeah.
Like when we first time run it, sir, at that time we entered 5 inputs at a time. Like 2, 4, 6, 8, like that you given.
Yeah.
Now this time we are each number we are giving and it is executing. What is the change we made?
I am printing this inside my, if you go here, you'll see that I'm printing it inside my while loop. Otherwise, even if I remove this, it is happening exactly the same. The only thing is that the print is different. So if I remove this, 3, 4, 7, 2, 1. I'm still entering it 5 times. The only thing is that I'm looking at the value of largest in between. Everything is happening the same. The only thing is that you cannot see it, what is happening inside. Okay, by adding this statement, you can see what is going on inside. Is that all right or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So 8, 6, 3, 9, 1. Okay. So now let us try to find out okay. We'll do this later on the cube root. Let us do for loop first. So we have talked about one kind of loop till now. Now let us talk about another thing, which is something called as range. I think we talked about it in the previous class or not?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Little.
Range. So range 10. What does this mean?
From 1 to
Right.
10.
Not 1 to 10, 0 to 9. Okay. So what does this do? So it is almost like a while loop till now, whatever you have seen. So this contains a set of numbers from 0 to 9. Okay. So if I were to ask you, so we are going to define a new, let me get rid of this, which is a for loop. Okay. It is similar to a while loop, but for I in range 10. Okay. Don't forget the colon. I forgot it. It caused so much problem. If I say print I, what do you think is going to happen in this case?
It
So
will
I'm
print
saying for I in. So for I in range, it means that it should go through range one by one. So what are the values of range? What are the values inside range 10? What are the values in range 10?
0, 1, 2, 3 to 9.
So the range 10 means 0, 1, 2, so on until 9.
9.
Okay. Arey bhai, 9. Okay. So the range 10 means this. So if I do this, what will I get? I'll get 0 to 9. Okay. So it is quite straightforward. So range 10 means that there are 10 values. Okay. They are a little bit different. But it essentially, so this is exactly the same as range 10 is exactly the same as range 0 to 10. Okay. So the beginning is optional. Okay. The beginning is optional, but this 10 is not optional. So if you do this, then also you'll get the same answer. Okay. So this is your beginning and this is end plus 1 in one sense. Okay. So this checks for, so range goes to value less than the max or whatever the second value you want to call it. Okay. So the range only goes to the value less than max. It will never reach max. Okay, please understand that. So when you're not giving an increment, okay, in this case we are not telling what the increment should be. Okay, we are telling the starting point and we are sort of telling the max value. Okay, which is not really the max value, but a value is larger than the max possible value of the range. Okay, we are not assigning what steps it should take. So what do you think are going to be the steps that, based on what you're seeing here, what steps has it taken? It has taken steps of size what?
1 to 1.
1. Okay. So this is exactly the same as this. Okay. You should start from 0 and keep on adding ones until you reach 10, but not 10. Okay. Before 10, you should stop. Okay. You should never reach 10. Okay. That is the point. So if you do this, this is what you're going to get. Now you could possibly change this to, let us say 0.5. And what is going to happen? It is going to take all the values in this range. I is going to take all the values in this range. And what are the values in this range?
0,
Sridhar,
0.5.
either 0 to, what will be the last value?
9.5.
Good. Oh, it is getting is range not allowed? Float cannot be interpreted as an integer. Let us try this. Does range take these? Nope. Range does not take these values.
फर्स्ट उसके लिए दूसरा कमांड होता है
क्या?
फ्लोट के लिए दूसरा कमांड होता है फॉर इन अरेंज करके होता है शायद.
Okay. So it does not allow float. Okay, range does not allow float. Okay, let me. Okay. So range only allows integers. But let us. So if I, instead of, let us say I start from 10 and I go up to 1 and I put -1 here. What do you expect? It's going to be the values. First value is going to be 10 and the last value is going to be
2.
great. Okay, is that all right?
Yes, sir.
Now, if let us say I put it inside another loop, okay, for I in range 3, not I, let's call this as J. Obviously, it cannot be the same. One thing I want to mention here, okay. Let us say that this is n is equal to 2. Okay, let me comment this out for now. Let us say I replace this by n. So I'm starting from 10, ending at n with a step size of -1. Okay, in this case, n is equal to 2. Then what is your answer going to be? It is going to be 10 to 3. Is that all right? Now, let us say if I change n is equal to 5 over here. Let us say I do that. Then what do you expect your answer to be? Let us say inside the loop itself, I change n is equal to 5.
It will be 10 to 6.
10 to 6. Let us see. Nope. It is exactly the same. So please understand that once that loop starts, once that for loop starts, it no longer checks for this condition again. Okay. Once it has decided that, so once the for loop starts, it sees the range. Okay, and it keeps on going through the range. It will no longer recalculate this range again. Okay, please understand that. So this for loop is very different from what you might have in a while loop. While loop checks for the condition every time. Okay, but once your range, your for loop has started, it will calculate whatever your set through which that for loop has to travel through. Okay, loop through, it will find out the set and it will no longer recalculate that set again. Okay, please understand that. It will no longer recalculate that set. Okay, is that all right?
Okay.
Okay, so once that for loop has started, it will go through. Okay, now if I do if I is equal to 5. Okay, break. What is going to happen in this case? What is going to happen? What will it print?
So 10 to 5.
Sure, I made one mistake. It should be double equal to. Okay, double equal to means checking whether they are equal. Equal to means assignment. Single equal to means assignment. So I'm checking for this. So it will be 10 to 5. Okay. So let us do something else now. For J in range 3, print this. What do you think is going to happen now?
So it will print 10
to 3.
10 to
How
3.
many times? So how does this work?
So J
Once this loop gets entered, okay, this loop gets entered, this will keep on running until this whole thing is finished. Okay, so
Two
once
times.
we enter this loop, it is going to print instead. So what is it going to print? It is going to print I how many times? What is the value of I initially? The initial value of I is 10.
10.
Okay, then it will go into this loop. This loop is that J is in range 3. What does that mean? J is 0, 1, and 2.
2.
Okay, so let me do something. Let me say I want to print I comma J. Okay, so if I do this, oh, again, is that all right? So once it enters I, it is going through. So the J will the for J will get completed once completely. Okay, then only it will go back to I again. Okay, so that is what is happening. So once I is equal to 10, it will go through this whole thing completely. So how many times will it go through this? It will go to it 3 times. Okay, so 10, 0, 10, 1, 10, 2. So this is called as nested loops. Okay, so nested loop. Now, if I let us say, if I print a break statement over here, what is going to happen? It is going to break the lowest hierarchy for loop. Okay, so if I say a break over here, what do you think is going to happen? What do you, Sridhar, what do you expect your answer to be in this case? This break is unconditional. This break is unconditional. It is going to break every time.
10 0
Okay.
10 1 10.
10 0 10 1 10 2. Sure.
No, sir, it will print only once.
What?
3 it will print.
Uh-huh.
Only once, because J will break every time.
So what will be the answer? You tell me the answer.
10 9 8 7 6 5 4 3 2 1. And for
No, it is not correct. 10, there should be 2 values, no, because I'm printing 2 values, I, j. So what will those values be? Sanjeev?
Yes, sir.
What values only? क्या आंसर आएगा इसका? I'll tell you the answer. It is going to be 10 0 9 0 8 0.
10 0. Yes, sir.
Is that clear, Sridhar? Why it is happening? It is only breaking the inside loop. Okay, so what happens once it enters into this loop? The first value of J is 0. It prints this value, and immediately after that, what is going to happen? It is going to break. Break means it is going to go out of this loop. Okay, if it goes out of this loop, then what happens? Then it goes to this, back to this loop again. Okay, what is the next value of I? 9. Okay, then it enters this loop again. It is fully intention. The full intention of this loop is to completely run through the J is equal to 0, 1, and 2. But as soon as it enters this, it prints once, and immediately after that we see a break statement. So it does not get the chance to complete its journey. Okay, so if now everybody should be able to answer this question. If I put a break statement over here, what will be my final answer? Just tell me once.
10 0.
10 0.
10 0. Okay, because what is going to happen immediately after this gets completed, the first set of statements gets completed, it immediately stops because it is going to break the second loop also. Is that clear?
Yes.
I think that is enough for today. It's already 1 hour 15 minutes. I'm tired.